How's everyone doing on this fine day?
You recording?
Peace and power, black family.
Yo, what up? This is that king lifestyle, you know?
It's that Kang lifestyle.
That Kang.
Black Kangs.
Yo, he's gonna make Thanos look sweet at this point.
Oh, hold on. Spoiler alert.
I don't think.
Let's get into
If
it.
you ain't watched it, you ain't watched it. I can't be asked.
Let's get into it.
Made in Chafford podcast episode 96.
Yeah.
Am I correct in saying that?
No,
97.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Hold on.
Let's restart.
No,
it's fine.
No, it's fine.
It's on wax.
Episode 97. You know what time it is.
Come on.
Well, no, you don't, because I messed it up. But now we in the building. We live. We podding. So, what is aliases? Nearly forgot how we start this show.
Cole Sanusi, aka Big 2L in the building. What's going on?
It's Genghis Gibogwe. That's right.
First name 2, last name Dems.
Come on.
You already know what time it is. All right, so I guess we can kick off. So basically, in our Made in Chafford group chat, some of the boys were left unhappy due to Emmanuel's actions recently. He spoiled the finale of Loki.
Spoiler.
He basically revealed, you know, if you ain't seen it at this point, I don't feel bad. It's been
Well,
out
I mean,
days.
when they're listening to this is going to be...
it's been out nearly a week at that point.
It would be longer than that.
If this
Well,
is a
2
spoiler
weeks.
to you, then you weren't
Yeah.
serious.
2 weeks.
But yeah, no. So Emmanuel basically spoiled that Kang is the big bad, and looks like he'll be the big bad going forward for the whole of Marvel.
He's not actually the big bad, but...
He is the big bad.
He's not the big bad.
What do you mean? He's definitely the big bad for Phase 4, maybe even 5.
Not the one in Loki. He's
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
But yeah. He's big bad.
They've essentially freed the big bad though. Sylvie
Yeah.
needs to get punched, man.
No.
Doctor Strange, someone like, what? How am I supposed to tidy this up? Someone said to Ant-Man, good luck. Like,
Yeah, he don't
what
need
the
that.
fuck? I like some of the Ant-Man movies. What the fuck you know about Kang?
It's
He's
true.
gonna get ripped to shreds. Quantum Mania, my ass.
Yeah.
But why did you feel the need to spoil it?
All right. So
Share your thought process.
let me just give it a proper deep dive. So from the start of maybe 2009 up until 2011, 12 maybe. Yeah, 2011, 2012. So we had a BBM group. Like it was just a silly name. I don't know what it was.
IGBG.
I don't know. Maybe IGPG, whatever it was at the time. Then it changed to... we just kept it. Then we just transferred it from BBM to WhatsApp,
So WhatsApp.
because some people had iPhones, some people had Blackberries, some people had Nokias, and so on and so forth. So, and then eventually now it's just the Samsung, Apple sort
Divide.
of,
Yeah, essentially.
divide. And then of course Toby had his phase where he had to work for Google and whatever, so he got the Google phone. So I hear that, but it is what it is. Anyway, so we had a group chat, and we had a one group chat for all that time. But then someone decided, let's make another group chat because we're going to be talking about football in that group chat. When on this whole entire group chat, you man have been talking about football, other stuff.
Certain man weren't happy about that.
Nah, hold on. Certain man weren't happy about it. But then I was the one who took over the group chat and I catered to you man them.
Wait, hang on. Pause the story there.
Yeah.
Am I Sylvie?
Essentially.
'Cause I freed Kang. I made this happen.
Oh, what you put him? Oh, yeah.
I made him. I was admin, and I was like, "Fuck it, let me make Eman admin," and then the rest is history.
Yeah,
was
the
a
rest was
bad
history.
idea.
But
It was a very bad idea.
But
Damn near ruined the chat.
That made me pretty much.
as I have a sip of water. Anyways,
Was you the admin when fucking who was it spoiled Game of Thrones? But not even just that, it was a crazy
I
spoiler.
think it was
as well,
Toby who spoiled Game of Thrones.
because they spoiled Power. I said, what are you
You
doing?
know,
no,
childish.
I never spoiled Power. It
No,
was
but
only
someone
Flash.
initially spoiled Power. I think the daughter, I don't even watch the show. The daughter died and
Right.
Toby was vexed. I was like, why are you getting mad about Power? Like, of all the shows to get mad about,
It's like getting mad about EastEnders.
No, but
Yeah,
that
come
was
on, dog.
Yeah, but Power at the time was banging.
it was, but like Power or Game of Thrones. Like,
And what happened? Well, to be honest,
spoil,
both of them died.
Yeah, they both
Like,
died. But at that point where Game of Thrones was, cool, spoil Power, I wouldn't have cared. But you can't spoil Game of Thrones. Like, that spoiler was mad. People left the chat because of that.
All right. So, anyways, as I was saying, I had a tendency, like anytime anybody would misbehave, I'll just feel like, you know what? Let me just stack up their misbehavior points and then just spoil a show when it's necessary. Yeah, for me, obviously, not for you guys because it's unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? So like the Flash when remember the Flash when we found out that
Was it Savitar, whatever his name was?
yeah,
Something like that. Barry Allen was
Yeah.
it was himself.
It was
himself from another timeline.
Oh god, that
And-
show, man.
Yeah, that
Nah,
was
we was.
absolutely brilliant.
Oh man, like I think certain people. There's a lot of politics behind it. Obviously, it's Made in Chafford is a collective of good friends, as you know. You probably gathered by if you've listened to this for a number of weeks or however long you've been with us.
Right.
Made in Chafford is a collective of friends. We all grew up together, and obviously people have their own relationships with each other. Some people, naturally, as would be the case within any friendship group, some people are closer to others.
Yeah.
Some people are closer to other people. So obviously, I think certain people weren't liking the direction the chat was going in. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Hold on. I have not finished this timeline. at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm putting
You're-
another point as to why there was another group created.
I have not finished this
Alright,
timeline.
go.
Yeah. So then, other members of the group chat requested for like some people to come into the group chat in a Made in Chafford group chat. I contested their ideas to like why those individuals should be in the group chat because in some way, shape, or form, we didn't grow up with them, but we're
Yeah, I
still
hear
friends with
that.
them. So then I
There
said,
were
you know
some
what?
weird additions.
Let me
say
just
the
To
least.
say the least.
that weren't even made in Chafford.
no hate, but I added them anyways.
Yeah.
And then you guys decided to say, "Oh, Eman's a bad leader because he added these people."
I don't think I want to say to be fair. I don't think
So
anyone
that was
in this,
from
in
my
this room
perspective.
was in favor of those ads.
No, you man said, "Yeah,
It
let's
Nah,
add them
man.
in."
Don't
Not
say
me.
you, man.
Huh? No, you
It-
man
it
were in
weren't-
favor. You man were in
I
favor.
will say easily, everyone in this room, certain people were added, and I said that don't make
That's
sense.
cap. As in to add that person.
No,
that
because I had the
people is cap.
receipts. I had the receipts. You know the person was complaining. Yeah, I'm not gonna mention
We'll
their
bleep.
name. Yeah,
I
I'm not gonna
can't
mention
be
their
asked to
name.
bleep.
The person that was complaining, saying, "Why did you add this person?" I said it was you that wanted the person to be added. He says, "No, I would never do that." Pulled up the receipts. It was like, "Well, can you explain yourself?"
No, I hear that. Listen.
Right. Okay. So there wasn't just one member. There was other members as well.
Yeah.
Cool.
It was multiple people as well.
Anyways, what happened was that eventually the group chat just went a bit silent, right?
Mm.
Then I see Snapchat group chat.
I don't know about this. Was it? I mean, I think there
There
was.
is,
But
I've muted all the other group chats.
So I was like, you know what? I don't know why that group chat is there. But then certain man come up to me and says, "Yo, listen, give me the group admin because I need to add these people." I said, "I'm not giving your group admin to add certain people. If you want to add certain people to
ask
to kick ball, go and make a group chat. It's simple." "Oh yeah, but we have this group chat from time." She said, "So why do you want me to make you an admin? Like, what sort of game are you playing?" Yeah, I'm Genghis Gibogwe.
Man said,
You must have forgot,
Genghis Kabogwe.
right? Cool.
And like with an iron fist and that, coming like Maggie Thatcher.
Iron Fist may be a bad example, but I hear where you're coming from. Anyways, Margaret Thatcher, I'm a man, she's a woman. Cool.
I'm just saying, you're very powerful. You're moving at very powerful people, dictators.
No,
almost.
I'm trying to make sense of something. So you guys wanted more people to be added into the group, and I said no this time. So then what did you do? You created another group chat with the same people to talk about the same exact things. And guess what? When I joined this new group chat, I find out there's the same amount of people from the previous one, maybe removing the additions. It's just the same people. So it didn't make sense to me. So then why did I decide to just spoil freaking Loki? Because I thought like, hold on, there's now an Instagram group chat. There's now a freaking WhatsApp. There's two WhatsApp group chats, and then there's a Snapchat group chat. Let me just spoil this. Let me just make sure that everybody understands, that you can't play these sort of games.
I hear that.
Let me just spoil it.
I don't hear that at all. But I'm not gonna bother. I can't.
You don't have to hear it.
You can go. I got nothing to say.
You don't have to hear it.
I think.
I have nothing to say.
No, because
There's
hold
a
on.
lot-
Because
yeah,
basically,
I will let you speak.
oh, hold on. Because basically, I felt like, what was the need of all this
There
separation?
was a massive need.
Do you know
there was
why?
a
'Cause-
massive need.
No, there
And I
wasn't.
can tell you.
Because-
If
no.
you let me speak, I can tell you
Listen,
what the
for
need
a whole
was.
couple of years, I was thinking, what's going on? These men are silent. What's going on? Are these men not boys no more? These men not
No,
boys.
no,
And then
I don't wanna say
certain
that. No,
information,
that's
certain information like parties and stuff like that, I would find out like maybe a couple days before, and I'd be like, all right, cool, I'll come through. But then other man them in the other group chat that are not privy to this information, they're left out. So they have to find out on Snapchat and Instagram. Basically, you man are snakes.
I don't
So I
think
thought,
nah.
let me snake.
I don't. at some point I've got to speak.
All right, now you can talk. Now you can talk. Yeah.
Listen, there's certain politics within that chat that I think put a lot of people off.
What was it? Explain.
So I think certain people weren't pleased. There was, at one period of time, there was a lot of religious chat in there, a lot of people going back and forth, and I think for a lot of people it became jarring. That's not. Is that fair?
There was a point where it was peace and harmony, and there was a lot of talk about football, and for some reason, certain individuals didn't want it. Every time there was a mention of football, it was like, "Oh, you man worship football. You man worship football. You man worship football." No
Was that
problem.
from me?
Not from you. I'm not adding anybody. That's just why the group chat died, and then the football chat was replaced with religion chat. And that's where it really went to shit because people had very conflicting ideas. There's a lot of
people left.
There was a lot of rude stuff said in that time frame from both sides, and that's when people started to leave. People didn't even like speaking in there anymore. So it died within itself.
So then you guys created the same.
But they created a group chat because they wanted to get away from that. Yeah, how can you not see that?
So you guys created the same group chat,
but they're not talking about the same stuff. As in,
you guys are talking the same stuff.
People, yeah, but they couldn't talk about football in the other chat. That's the reason they created the other chat. Certain man was saying, you man love to talk about football. Go talk about it elsewhere. So we did.
You know, there's one word.
These times people went in there just to speak about religion and that.
That was
it.
Listen, no, hold on.
Bruv,
there was one word, right? And that's called accountability. You man wanted certain people to join in the group chat, and guess what? I didn't want to hear it.
I don't think the people joining the group chat killed the chat though. I don't necessarily think it was a whole list of things that led to the death of the original.
By the time you're adding people, the chat was already dead.
Yeah.
Right, so
I don't know if you realized that.
The religion chat, right? I understand it, but I thought we took that out of the group chat. And I even said to that person, we're not going to say their names, we had a discussion outside of the group chat. And we even converse still. We can converse on Instagram. We never converse on Snapchat. That's just dead. Like, we're all old now. Yeah. But Instagram and definitely WhatsApp. Like, if we have conflicting ideas, and sometimes it's like, boom, boom,
I'm not
boom.
saying,
so me and him,
that's what I'm saying.
Me and that individual, well, it's him now. But anyways, me.
And you weren't necessarily one of them, but certain people were going tick for tat. You'll come back to your phone and you like
no, but that person that I'm talking
because they're going back and forth.
No.
Like,
but person that we're talking about right now, yeah, would be the one to start the conversation.
But then I'm not.
So then that person now wants to start another group chat, and it's like you started the same group chat. You just cloned yourself, bro. I didn't see the necessary need to clone yourself, bro.
I don't know, but certain
and all these pictures, all these memories,
you can't argue that certain elements make. I think people left because they were searching for. I don't want to say utopia, but in terms of group chat politics, they were. Certain people wanted. So like Jay will tell you, like Jay just dipped by the time he left Made In Chafford, like what's even going on in there?
Bro,
like,
it was just trash. I left as well. I was like, listen, man.
Nothing like. The amount of people that left was staggering. I'm not saying it's all down to
crashed and burned,
to you.
And it's fine. These things happen. Nothing lasts forever.
People do grow
and
well.
And also my actions of spoiling the thing. It was just nostalgic.
It was unnecessary. And the good thing is, no one really, if you had done that 5 years ago, I reckon everybody would have been pissed off.
Yeah.
But I read it and I was just like, all right, man. If that's what you're on, like, cool, innit? Like, I don't see the purpose of it. But it is what it is, isn't it?
Nah, I get it. It's an interesting conversation because I'm sure we're not the only group chat that's gone through this. There's definitely group chat politics or what's the word I'm looking for? But like group chat sort of rules that you kind of have to follow and abide. And I think
such as, you know what? Yeah,
just be courteous. Just make sure that everyone feels comfortable in that group chat as well because you're just pinging off bare messages and you man are going back and forth on something that not everyone feels the same about or can really get involved in. You know what I'm saying? That's how I think that was a major reason I think a lot of people left. And then there was just, it just became a place that, how am I going to stay in here if I'm going to keep seeing spoilers? Not even just you doing it, but I'm talking about like Toby's Game of Thrones one. Or even, you know what, respect to people who watch Power. Like I know when that particular spoiler was put in the chat, Dade who watched Power or Israel who watches Power, he wasn't pleased about it. So no. I don't want to be in a group chat where that's going to continually happen.
No, Power was the only probably one I didn't touch because it was like everybody was so intrigued about it, and like
Yeah, and I
But
hear
then,
that.
you know what? I'm looking forward to this new one.
Book of Canaan.
Yeah,
You're gonna spoil that one as well.
Nah, I don't think so.
Did you watch the one about the sun?
Yeah, I did.
Is he being ghost? I don't get it.
Ish.
I stopped watching Power after season 3, so I don't know, man.
Best decision you've ever made.
I jumped out that. I had to drop that.
That shit is so trash. It's actually funny at the same time.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think about spoiler culture in general? Like,
It's
Depends.
I don't know. It's easy to avoid, I feel. Like, unless you've got people doing what he's doing.
yeah, if you'd never said that, I never would have known. But it is what it
you
is.
go on Twitter, you can mute it. Like, it doesn't have to come up. You know?
I'm not on Twitter, so I really
I hear that. But if you don't want to see something,
you won't
have
see
to,
it.
You can ignore it. And what people do now on Twitter is they'll say spoiler, and then they'll put loads of dots,
And then say at the bottom.
say what they want to
Fair
say.
enough.
And
I like the spoilers with no context.
Those ones are great. You could have done that. You could have been creative. Man just went out and said what happened. I just said, and the thing is, I didn't even read the whole thing. I just saw the first name and I said, "Oh, okay, cool."
I kind of had an idea he was gonna be in it anyway, so it wasn't that.
Yeah, it wasn't too
I saw
crazy.
it coming, but it was. I'd already seen the episode, fortunately, but I was like, "Oh, certain man are gonna be pissed."
Jonathan Majors, I didn't think he could really perform.
Nah, he
that
gets
well,
busy,
but
man. He's good.
He was a brilliant actor.
I think. I don't know. Lovecraft Country was just maybe not. I think the first episode was great, and then it just got a bit silly for me after that.
Yeah.
But he's phenomenal. I was a bit. I'm in the iron on how he chose to play this particular version of Kang. I think a lot of people enjoyed his performance, but for me, I don't know. He played it a bit silly, personally, a bit like kind of goofy.
But that's the beauty of it. This is one version of him.
This is what, yeah, and he can come back hard. That's what I'm saying. He's gonna be in the MCU for a long time, and he has to be the big bad that they're leading up to for the next several years.
It's the fact that the TVA is black owned. Like, it's a silly notion, but it's just like, you know what I hear.
He's on the cover of Ebony.
Support black businesses,
He's on
isn't
the
it?
cover of Vibe.
You gotta see
CEO speaks on how
Black Kangs.
CEO
That's
speaks
funny.
on how running the TVA is impacting his life. Yo, can get busy, man.
I like the ending, man. I wasn't too crazy on the series, but it really landed on its feet. Like, it ended phenomenally for me.
Yeah.
I was
I
not.
thought the
crazy
ending
on
was
it.
cold.
But yeah, I think it. I guess now we can. There's been 3 out. How would you rate them? I'm saying Falcon and Winter Soldier, WandaVision, Loki.
I would say WandaVision number 1. Falcon and Winter Soldier was like,
Fuck, he's not supporting the blacks.
I might put Loki second and Falcon and Winter Soldier third, man.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's what everyone's.
Falcon and Winter Soldier didn't do nothing for me, brother. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was like there was cool elements of it, but they were just running around like they pack. Like, like I didn't engage.
Do you know what? I really like the idea of Kang being the big bad, because certain people are just, what are they gonna do when it comes to fighting? Like, how is
You kill one version, another one pops up.
Well, it's not even that. What the fuck is Captain America gonna do against fucking Kang? What is? Maybe Captain Marvel can hold these hands.
But we don't really know what Kang is on. Really,
I'm terrified.
To be honest, if
Because
he
that
is,
ending when Loki was like, "Yo, what's like? You know who I am," and he switched time that much, fam. I said, "Yo, what the good luck, Ant-Man, because you're gonna need it."
you're gonna need it, buddy.
I'm just intrigued to find out who Dr. Reed Richards is.
Well, he's Dr. Reed Richards.
No, if he's a black man or a white man, because Nathaniel Richards is this rendition.
That
He
is
could still
true.
be white.
You can't. Nah, he's too dark. If they wanted to go the mixed race route,
If you keep,
they've lost time.
So what? He's from the 31st century, yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So he
He's
could
in
be
another
white.
time.
Eventually,
From
like
the 13th or the 31st?
31st. I think he said 31st.
And what? We're in the 21st century now.
Yes, Debbie, we are. We are indeed.
You end up in my gunner. Why'd you look at me like that? Let nigga live.
I'll cry. It's just the way you asked me. You're like, we're in the 21st century, right?
I just wanted to double check. I ain't done how people come back and be like, yo, that's the name of the episode.
Hey, that's so funny, bro. I'm crying. Yo.
Why'd you do me like that?
It's just a confirmation in your face. Like, you're dead serious.
I just didn't want to say something
shit.
and people be coming back crazy like, this nigga thinks it's the 20th century.
There is a common misconception that we're in the 20th century.
So I just had to double check.
No problem, man.
But yeah, Kang's gonna get busy, man.
Scott Lang versus Kang. It's gonna be a long Lang versus Kang. It's gonna be a long day.
Ant-Man's gonna get his ass whooped because I don't know what he thinks shrinking down's gonna do.
For real. It'll be interesting. It opens up the door for many possibilities and the multiverse and all that good stuff. So we'll see where we end up.
We will. So next topic: are you black enough? So whose idea was that? Because
it was Genghis Gbogwe's idea.
I hear that,
and it's a good topic. I think
light skin, but I'm still a dark nigga.
Shout out to Kang.
Leave it out, mate.
Leave it out, son.
DSS and whatnot.
I just clocked you actually wearing Jordan 4s.
I weren't kidding.
You weren't lying.
Yeah, he
wasn't lying.
Man,
I really be living my raps.
I'm gonna have to insta that, bro. Jordan 4s or Jordan 1s, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah,
are
you black enough? What is being black enough?
Yes, sir.
What is it to be black?
For a start,
well, that's a great question.
That's a good place to start.
What is black if white not
I don't
succeeding?
You know what?
You know what? You got me. He's been waiting to say that.
Of course he has.
In the top.
I'm
sorry.
I just came up with it now.
I'm sorry.
Shut up, man. I just came up with it now. Because I was thinking about it. I was like, wait, hold on. Division? What did he say?
What's love if not... What is death?
What is grief?
What is grief if
love,
not
persevering.
love? Persevering.
Yeah.
Poetic.
Justice. Justice.
Yeah, no, like we're living in, like we all grew, well, we had very much our adolescent years in Essex, and that's very much the foundation of your identity. And other individuals who grew up in London, they have a completely different reality to us. But what they would realize, what they would actualize as being black would be completely different to us.
Right.
So the notion of, are you black enough?
Do you think, do you think we try maybe subconsciously harder to be black because of where we're from? Like we've got a bit of a point to prove. I'm not saying that we do. I'm saying it would be a subconscious thing that we might try to do. Because we have to code switch because of where we're from.
I don't think so. It just depends who you are. Like, I think there's certain people, for example, all of us we're obviously from the same group, but we're all actually very different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we have people within our group who are very different, even though they're black as well. So I think I don't necessarily think it's because where we're from. I think there's certain aspects of our personality that have acclimatized to being from Essex per se.
Yeah.
But some more than others. Like, for example, some of us are more likely to go to a pub and not feel any way about it, whereas others would obviously, be on edge. Some of us may watch Towie, be dressed like an Essex person, do all that stuff, whereas others are not on it. Huh?
No, that's got everything to do.
No, it does. Because, bro, in my opinion, when I say I'm from Essex, cool, but 9 times out of 10, you probably won't realize it with me personally, or like even with Eman. I don't think it's harder to identify that with you. Maybe it's because also you're Tanzanian as well.
Yeah.
But it's harder to identify that. Whereas for some people, like, you can just see it, and that's like. But I think the main issue with being black enough is that I feel like the problem is within us. We kind of have these rules and regulations to being black, and it almost stifles us a bit because we don't allow variations of being black.
Yeah, that's true. And there's a lot of great people who, I know Childish Gambino struggled with this in the earlier stages of his career because he wasn't the typical black guy, if that makes sense, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
So he's. I mean, there's a lot of great black people who I think might have felt this. I think Tyler at some point has felt this.
I think he still feels it, Tyler.
Yeah, probably. And he might feel like he's always. I think
inheriting
Drake
his music.
feels it. I mean, he definitely. Mixed people, they tend to. Now, it's their choice to do as they please, but like some tend to lean towards more their black side, and I know Drake is one of them. I feel anyway. And he's, just as an example from a celebrity, he's one that, I think battles with that. Am I black enough? Am I constantly having to prove that I'm hard? Am I, that I can really hang with the guys, sort of thing?
Yeah. And then Like you can even think about it from a deeper perspective. Like I went to one church in West. I'm not gonna mention their name, but I went to one church in West, and I said I'm from. Like they knew right away that I was not from the area. They knew like, where you from? You don't really talk like us. It was like, what do you mean like us? Like a black person? Like it's like nah, like yeah, but nah. That was their response. Like,
I hear what you're saying.
Oh really? So what you say ream and stuff like that? I was like, no, I don't say
bro.
ream. I've never said ream. But there is a notion that we are like planets away.
You get looked at a certain type of way.
Well, there's a really good episode of it in Fresh Prince where I think they're trying to join the black sorority, and Carlton, thank you. He's like, they weren't gonna let him in, and they were like, because obviously he's wealthy. But Carlton was like, I know I'm not what you stereotypically think when you look at a black man, but I'm still fighting the same fight you are. I'm still having the same. We're still in the same race. You know, just because I might have certain advantages because of who my father is, doesn't mean that if I go to an interview, they're still gonna see me and perceive me as a black man. You know what I mean?
Honda.
So it's one of those things like, how do you can't live your life constantly trying to prove that you're black, because what is that as well? Like, you know, it's whatever you want it to be. Like, you can't.
It's
and it's your own perception as well.
I think it is a problem we have within ourselves. I don't know if it comes from like a deep-rooted place of trauma in the black community, but we definitely have that notion that if there's anything alternative or weird about you being black, you're almost ostracized. You're almost like an outcast.
Yeah.
It's not cool. And I think as we grow up, as society changes, it's only going to happen more and more. Like, you just see small examples of it. Like, you see Willow Smith, she's making some weird music, but it's cool.
And why would you call it weird?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you get it?
Because I transparency, I like the song. We mentioned it on a couple of weeks back on the playlist. But it's like, that's a good song.
It's cool.
She's black.
Yeah. But she's doing something completely different.
She's doing something completely different.
You know, black people need to stop being, in feeling black enough, we need to stop letting people feel stifled and be like, you can't do that. Like, what are you doing? Like, obviously there's certain things that we have that won't let us do certain things, but there's certain sports that black people just don't play or won't play. You know what I mean?
Right.
Certain walls are broken down because it will be viewed as, what are you doing?
Isn't Nigeria supposed to be doing bobsleigh? Is it bobsleighing?
The
Nigerian ladies are supposed to be bobsleighing.
But there shouldn't be anything that should stop them, except for maybe, I don't know, like, you know, you don't have the resources and whatnot to do it. But
of course, it's a hot country, but yeah.
But
other than that,
being said,
it shouldn't stop you.
Yeah, it shouldn't stop you. We shouldn't like get in the way of anyone doing anything that they want to do, if that makes sense. Or you shouldn't feel like, oh, your blackness is in jeopardy because you want to do something that's deemed a bit out there, you know?
Yeah, 100%, man.
And yeah, it does go back to that. Like, don't stop making the music that you want to make. Like, as long as it bangs, that's all that matters, really. Because I'm going to get onto you if you do something in the shit. But if it's good, you deserve the support.
But then you might think grunge is shit. But then that person has the music and the style, the swag that appeals to
them. I hear what you're saying. To be fair, I don't think I judge any sort of music that I don't fully understand. I'm speaking more like when artists who want to try a thing and it doesn't necessarily come off. You know what I mean? That's more what I'm referring to. But in terms of like, if a black person's doing grunge and they're dope in that area, I'll salute that. I'll be like, yo, you know, fly the flag over there. You know, that's what we need more of.
What about a situation where you grab a black person who has just grown up from the beginning of their life to, let's say, 18, and they've just been in a white, just fully white area?
Well, like Cold Fusion. There's a YouTuber. He's like, when he does audio, like just voiceovers of any topic that he discusses. Very interesting stuff. Like, I suggest you should go and look at his content. But you listen to him, you'll never think he's Nigerian.
Yeah.
He is full on Australian, but he's a full-on black Nigerian.
Yeah.
He just lives in Australia, and you will never.
But he's got an Australian accent as well, I'm assuming.
A heavy one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be thinking, what country are you from? Well, of course, he's Australian, but it's like he's never shown his face.
Yeah.
So the time he shows his face, it's like automatically in your mind, you're like, how the hell did that work?
Yeah.
And that's, as you would say, weird.
Yeah, it's interesting. I guess it's also, you can't judge a book by its cover as well. That's the sort of thing I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sort of situations. Yeah, man. I think, but that person must have an internal struggle as well, a little bit, because they'd feel like, you've never had to prove anything, but like I can't imagine what growing up with people who don't look like you around you is like.
Yeah,
like,
it definitely makes a difference.
In that, but earlier years of people who probably when they first moved to Chafford, if you was black, you wouldn't have had that luxury. You probably had about 1 or 2 black people in your year.
And you'd have to adapt. You'd have to acclimatize to where you're at. So to get by. If you decide to behave any other way, you'll get demonized and treated a certain way by everybody else.
I'm not even trying to put certain schools on blast, but I know like for certain black people at Woolly Head, it was a bit of a tricky experience because it is a predominantly white school. So yeah, you just have to adapt to survive is what you do in those sort of situations.
Yeah.
It's painful, but I guess you don't know unless you've done it.
But then again, everybody would fixate themselves to the stereotypes of being black, and it's like, really, yeah. The reason why I was thinking about this topic was, well, not this topic, this concept. It was because it was like, what if black people decided to change the things that demonizes them, and would it make them less black, or would it enlighten them? So there are certain stereotypes that only are associated with black people that say if you don't do this, you're not black. But then take out some of those things, it could put them in a better position in life. Do you get what I'm saying?
I see.
So then it's like when somebody says, "Are you black enough?" You could be talking to somebody who just maybe like the politician in the UK. I don't know what his name is, but when he speaks on TV, you would not think he's a black man. And some people would already straight away say and ostracize him and say, "You're not black enough. You're actually white because the way you talk is white, the way you dress is white." He's just a politician that's black. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we should be very proud of him, but because of the certain stereotypes and things that we link only to black people, should we really remove them? That's the reason why I was thinking about.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing
to
review within ourselves, within our culture. And I think certain things like that our generation is starting to get rid of a little bit. Like, you can more or less do what you want. Or being black, there is certain rules that might have been there previously. They are starting to go away. As in, you can still be black and express your blackness. But that's just you doing it in your own way, and it might not be the typical way we've all known, but times are changing.
Do you guys ever feel personally like sometimes you've ever been in a situation where you feel like you've not been seen as being black enough?
Fortunately, I don't think so, really.
I guess the situation you said was one
where
the guy was like, "Oh, you don't talk like you're from around here."
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't that deep, but it was just like,
but it is like a eyebrow raise moment. Like, okay,
like, huh?
Yeah.
Like
I remember once,
and then now I have to prove to you that I'm blacker than you. Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's a never-ending circle as well.
I remember in uni once, I think I was talking to this girl. She's a black girl, right? And she was just like, "Oh, you seem the type to just like white girls," and I was just like, I just laughed because it's like, okay, you're judging by my appearance.
Where you're from.
That's what I would be into. Got you.
Man said he bust or I just like white girls case.
But was she right?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
Not really, nah. That's probably the furthest it goes to me. Like when it comes to me. And at that time, no, not really. Nah. But I understand why she would make that assumption because that's how people perceive people to be. Do you know what I mean? They see certain characteristics or certain physical traits that look different to what they presume to be black, and then they'll think you're the exact opposite of that. So it's the game, isn't it?
Nah, the game is a game, innit? But yeah, no, I think we've all been. I can't think of anything specifically, but I think we've all been in those sort of positions. I guess there was always for me, it was more like you'd go back to see your family in London. There's always a preconceived notion that you'd have changed, or like, oh, look at you, you know, you don't live in London anymore, sort of thing. Like, you're definitely going to lose your identity. That's not going to happen. Like, I've got black friends. I know black people.
Yeah.
You know, which I guess it is important to have people around you, more so because of what the black experience is. So you have to have people around you who look like you. I don't know if other cultures feel that way, but I feel like for us it is quite important.
It's definitely
so
important.
I was pleased I never lost sight of that. But the fact that people thought that might happen just because of where I lived was just like, black people do travel. Like, we are in different parts of the country as well.
Black people are not. Was it the monolith? Is that the word?
I saw black people in specifically Sudanese in Oxford, and this was last Saturday, and like a few weeks back because of when this episode comes out. But they were beautiful people. They spoke like me. They talked like me. Like we still had the same vibe, and it wasn't a situation like, oh, you man live in Oxford. I asked him like, how's Oxford? It's like, it's peaceful, it's calm.
Yeah,
like there's no shenanigans out here. We just live a fairly nice life. And that's it.
That's facts.
But it was just like, we still communicated on a level where it wasn't, you're not black enough, you're not blacker than me, I'm blacker than you. Like, it wasn't none of that. Do you get what I'm saying?
Do you think white people do this? You're not white enough.
No, I know white people come up to me and tell me I'm not black enough sometimes to be like,
but like, specifically with white people, like, do you feel like they go, oh, like to their other white colleagues, mate, what, you're not eating your beans and toast, you're not white enough, mate.
Can't be though, because they've got the fortune that you can be like a geezer, you can be like posh.
Nah.
Yeah.
So, and either one's accepted.
There's another one, bruv.
Unless you're like white trash.
If you're a white person, if you're a white person and you talk black, like this, like I had a full conversation with this guy, and this person is just ignorant. Yeah, doesn't allow diversity.
There's no such thing as talking black as well, if that makes sense.
No, because basically
it's just the way you speak.
There'll be some white people who would sound like they were from, let's say, South London.
Yeah, but did they grow up in South London?
No, they may have grown up in Essex, but that's how they sound like. Like, there's a bunch of young kids today who love drill, who love hip hop, and they speak like this because that's what they know. That's how they've grown up. It's not an issue in any way, shape, or form. But when I speak to them, it's like, oh, okay, that's how you speak. Oh, cool. But then to the white person, it's like, yeah, you talk black. Like, what the fuck does that mean?
What does it mean to be able to talk black?
And you know what the mad thing is? Yeah, I told him, okay, I met a white person who grew up in Trinidad, who was born in Trinidad and grew up in Trinidad, right? Are you gonna go up to him and say you speak like Bob Marley?
I shouldn't laugh, but
that's a crazy sentence.
It's true.
But it's and I know what you're saying.
And then there's people like White Yardie. I was like, well, you can't go up to them and say talk white, because that's the only way he's been speaking his whole entire life. How can you then turn around and dictate how a person should speak?
Right.
Based on the fact of their skin color. So if a white person then talks black, or a white person speaks like they're Indian, if they speak like they're Chinese, if they speak like they're from the islands, the Caribbean, the West Indies islands, then it should not be a problem to you. It's just that you have a small mind. So yeah. So if you are a geezer, posh, or talk like you're black, yeah, white people do it all the time.
I hear that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting for sure. I mean, it's not something. It's something I've thought about before, but I guess to actually speak about it out loud and get other people's opinions on it, it does open your eyes a little bit.
For sure. Vote show.
Okay, so third topic for today. Will you discipline your kids? And I guess that needs a bit of context, but
right. So I watched a video yesterday on Instagram. And pretty much, like, okay, so the way the video starts is the dad is calling the daughter, and the daughter says hello, and the dad says hi, how you doing? and the girl just starts turning around on a negative energy, just saying, I don't want to talk to you right now. I don't want to talk to you right now. Be silent. And she sounds like she's from the ages of 8 to 11.
Right.
So she's on this phone just saying, I don't want to talk to you right now. Stop talking. No. I don't want to hear your voice. This and that. And then the dad is on the phone like, okay, that's absolutely fine if you don't want to talk to me. But I just want to know how you're doing. I just want to know how you are. I was like, well, I don't want to answer your question. This and that. Like, she's just being as bratty as possible.
They've got their own issues that they need to sort out. I don't know if that's necessarily to do with discipline, though.
And then during the phone call, the dad's like, listen, I understand that. I'm your father. I'm calling you because I love you. And you don't need to be that rude.
Mm.
And then she goes, like, she starts growling on the phone. And it's like,
Pop, R.I.P.
She fell in love with it. Oh boy.
So yeah, like she starts growling on the phone, and he's like, you know what? You got that from your mum.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna hang up. Yeah. And when he says I'm gonna hang up, she just said, "Alright, bye, boom, done."
I don't know. That sounds like more internal family issues, but I hear what you're saying in terms of because even if you was talking to me like that, like I'd be like, what the fuck? What's this conversation? Like, what the fuck?
What are you trying to get into?
Yeah, like, but do you think my fists are in the basement or something? Like,
I heard that.
So I think they've got more issues they need to resolve. But in terms of just like disciplining, I think, I don't know, it'd be interesting to see. I personally, I don't know, I don't think I'd hit my kids really. I don't think I have that in me. I think you can be a good parent and not have to do that. I think gone are those days where it's just, you know, I do believe spare the rod, spare the child, and I hear that Bible verse, but I don't think that necessarily has to be the answer.
Spare the rod, spoil the child.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. I don't think that has to necessarily be the case. I think there's ways you can discipline without having to hit them going forward. I think people have strict parents without them even having to hit them. They know what going. Like, there's a certain level of respect that has to be there. That's all. I think, like, that's all that has to be there. You have to establish the fact that, you know what, I love you and we have our own relationship, but we're not friends.
You do need an element of fear, but I think when it becomes physical, it's different, man. It's like a different ball game. When I was growing up, I was definitely of the notion of, I'm actually gonna hit my kids growing up. But the older I'm getting, the more I'm like, nah, that was just trauma, bro.
There's no need for it. Like,
that is just you actually getting your ass whooped.
I don't want my kid exactly.
Like, it isn't like
the difference.
Do you get? And like, don't get me wrong, I was turned out good. I was always very disciplined, but I don't think it was a good thing because it was almost not necessary. There's ways you can do it. You could get creative with it.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to, go straight to the physical aspect. Yeah. And fair enough. Like, it's not like by any means like a slander against the generation before us. That's all they knew.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
For the most part, it worked, but I just don't think it has to. It doesn't have to be that case.
No. My dad's on the. Listen, my parents, both of them, they got banged, bro. They got banged. Yeah.
And it's not something you want to continue. I don't think it's something that needs to.
No, the way they discipline me is completely different to what they receive. That's what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, like.
And if you take it deeper than that, like deeper, bro, all this abuse is like, that's like slavery shit. Like, I know it's not a clear link, but what, like, we were abused. So that abuse is kind of carried on.
In some cases where it's like, if you do this, if I do this to you now, somebody at the end of the day won't have to do it to you. Meaning that if I give you a discipline, like if I take the wooden stick, slap you on the hand, and make sure you don't do it again, then you would be in a situation where you don't necessarily have to go out.
I don't think it needs to get to that point. I just feel like,
no, but back in the day,
that was their mindset. Okay, yeah,
notion. Do you get what I'm saying? Especially being black. If you were accused of a crime, the police would give no
it weren't worth it. Yeah,
or a breather, they'll bang the hell out of you and make sure that they finish the job. Do you get what I'm saying? So,
and no, I do. That's actually that's an interest. But I feel like going forward, it's just for me, it's not something that I need to do. Like I think sometimes our parents didn't even just like speak to us in the sense that it was just why, like, I don't know if it's why are you acting naughty, you know, like what's actually mad. That's what kids are a lot smarter than I think parents give credit for. And if you actually try and converse with them, like, fam, this ain't you. Like, why are you having a tantrum? Like, I've seen. I mean, there's a side of parent TikTok where it's like TikTok parents, and they discuss their, you know, how they, you know, look after their children and how they discipline them as well. And a lot of the time, it's like these kids calm down as soon as you have a conversation with them, and they're just like,
some parents they don't have that ability at all.
But then it's an ability I think more like, parents should gain. I'm not saying, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you can learn this stuff. You can. So you can't learn to talk to someone.
It's not like you can't learn to talk to someone, but I've seen when. All right, so from talking to parents and seeing children grow up, whenever they go from the house to nursery, that's when things change. That's when their whole behavior changes. That's when a lot of things they start to learn about other kids. They start to take things and add them to themselves. So like, I can say this example, which I mean doesn't really have much to do with discipline, but it has something to do with the learning. So my sister, very well spoken, first week in primary school, so she's in reception. She comes back with a lisp. I'm thinking to myself, where are you learning this lisp from? It's like, oh no, it's always the way I spoke. I'm like, don't ever speak like that. Simple as just don't ever speak like that.
That was a conversation that was had.
Simple. That was a conversation that was had. Simple. Yeah. So she understood it, and she doesn't speak with a lisp anymore. Yeah. Of course, great, brilliant. Because I don't want to hear. No offense to anybody with a lisp, but yeah, do you get what I'm saying?
Well, if she's faking it, especially, yeah.
Yeah, and it was just like, what are you doing? And then like even, but I mean, there is one child. I'm not gonna mention their name. I'm not gonna mention their gender, but I've seen this child run the household at the age of 6.
But then,
like the child, like if the child doesn't get what the child wants, the child runs the household. Like the mum says, no, you gotta stop. The whole way through. The dad, stop what you're doing. Why are you behaving like this? I want McDonald's now. 6
man putting in orders.
Imagine, yeah. At the age of 6, that child is running the household. Yeah, and I'm seeing this, and I'm like,
you have to adapt to survive. Maybe you know what? Maybe they do need to be stricter.
You know what? I hear what you're saying, because the way I spoke to that child, it's like, you can't run them games with me. You can never run them games with me. Don't try them games with me. And then that child will start to behave, because that child will know them things can't run.
There's a time, man. I've already said that.
But with the parents, they don't have that energy.
I can't speak for them. I can only speak for how I'm going to behave. I mean, parenting is hard. Like,
and I never laid a finger on that child as well.
That's a fact. Like, you don't have to. I think that just more, like, just saying, also, that's what it goes back to what we said earlier. What you did with that child was you put a boundary, and you said, fam, I don't know what you man do over there, but here, that's not happening. If you're trying to converse with me and you're trying to like interact with me, we're not having those games can't be played. Yeah. And that's what you have. That's the impact you have to put on, because if you give a child an inch, they'll take a mile. Because all he probably does is, all he's known is, if he gives that reaction, he gets what he wants. As soon as they don't do that and they say, listen, you've got to stop this. I'm not saying this will work like, oh, it's going to be like magic. But if they put those boundaries in place, that reaction isn't going to get this response, he'll probably do it less. That's just
it's a learned behavior.
100%. And it can be unlearned as well. That's the thing.
I don't think it's with this child. Just because it's gone to a point where it's too far. And my dad always says this African proverb. And basically it says that there is a technique to cooking fish, and one of the ways is you smoke the fish, right? So I don't want anybody thinking, oh yeah, you're gonna put the fish in a spliff and smoke it. But the African proverb says, if you smoke a fish when it's straight, then it's gonna be, and you want it desired as a bent fish, it's gonna be hard to bend. It will break. So you bend the fish first, then you smoke it, and it will be desired. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, in terms of discipline, some parents, they take it way too far. That's when you have a lot of people who have anger management issues. They're ready to switch all on the fact of how many times they've been beaten and the way they've been beaten over small things. That's where a conversation would need to be had. But when it goes too far, that's an extent where maybe you may have to discuss with your child. For example, the child that I just spoke about, I think the parents need to take that next step to say, listen, if you keep acting like this, you already know what time it is.
Yeah, but that's... yeah, I mean, every child has to be, like, even in the sense of, even how my parents had to parent me compared to my sister. When my sister was younger, she was actually rather naughty. So whereas I wasn't necessarily like that. So the parenting style for each child, it has to be different. Like, I can't speak for the child you're speaking about. I can only speak hypothetically about how I would, when the day comes, how I would deal with my child. So I don't know. Every child has to be treated differently. You can't use the same technique for every child. I just hope it never, for me, will get to the point where I feel I have to hit my child. I don't think it ever needs to come to that point.
So then back to the point of the video that I just discussed in the very beginning of this topic. Let's say you go and pick up your child, right? Would you discipline your child?
What do you mean I have to go pick him up?
So this was the girl that was yelling at you over the phone, growling at the phone, and then as soon as you say, I'm going to hang up, she's the one who hangs up first. Would you discipline your child?
No. Nah, but to me, that situation sounds like they've got some internal things going on. I think if my child was rude to me on the phone, I'd definitely be like, yo, I don't know who you think you're talking to, because it's just, this ain't going to run. I'm not having this conversation with you.
But she's giving the energy on the phone and she gives it.
I'm sticking to what that my answer wouldn't change.
I don't think there's a circumstance. Well, obviously it depends. It's subjective, but I don't think there's a circumstance where you want to put your hands on your kid.
Nah. You shouldn't even.
Sorry.
Children are annoying though. Let's not cap.
Yeah.
Kids be annoying as fuck. When you tell them to do something, like sometimes I just hear like there's stories on Twitter of like kids just being dumb, like people asking, like if a child came to me and said, if say my nephew came to me and said, "How do you know my mum?" I'd be like, "What are we doing? What are we doing?" Then I'd be like,
kids are just funny in general. They see.
So they are like they're funny and they're ridiculous. So they will get on your nerves, but I just never want it to get to the point that I feel I need to hit them.
That's a simple question. That's just saying, okay.
Nah, no, but I'm just saying this is if a child can ask that, think how annoying they can be and try and push your buttons. If someone who can ask that question, that's not a person to be reasoned with. That age group, they're not.
I saw this stupid.
They're learning.
Nah, I know, but they're not to be fucked with, man.
I saw this stupid like TikTok where this guy is with he's basically reenacting a skit of him being with like a younger kid, and like he's an 18-year-old and the kid's like 6, and it's like basically kids love it when they see older people do anything that they can't do, and the guy started doing like chin-ups, and then the kid's like, oh, he's in S game mode. It's like, bro, he's just doing chin-ups, like it's nothing groundbreaking. Oh my God. But the kid's just like, oh my God. Be in S game mode.
What's it like? There's going back to like parenting TikTok. Basically, there's this dad on TikTok who's like, he's I don't want to say he's lost control. Actually, no, it works for him and his family. That's the most important thing. Do what works for your family. But the kid's gaming, and he's like, oh, it's time for dinner, and she's like, I can't come offline. I'm gaming, and he's like, parents going forward, if they ever tell you that they're playing games online, just leave them. I said. No, dinner's ready. Get the fuck up.
Yeah.
We're not playing them games. Like, you can
tell that.
I'll check what game it is.
I tried that.
If it's FIFA and you can pause that, you best pause that shit.
Nah, but he's online.
If you're online, alright, cool. Just finish it as soon as you can and get off.
Nah. Nah.
But if the food is ready, yeah, it's different. Turn it off, innit?
Nah,
Turn it off. You gotta go.
I've said dinner's ready.
I was watching cartoons. I tried that with my dad. Didn't go well.
Of course.
I told him to shut up.
Fuck off.
I was 6 years. I remember that day.
Put you in a split.
Yo,
We're
listen.
smoking on a manual tonight.
Put you in a pack.
I smoke. Eman.
Listen, yo. My dad said to me, it's time for dinner. I told him, shut up.
No.
I said,
I don't believe this.
Fam, I've never seen listen, there was a sofa in between the living space and the dining space. And the dining space, yeah, there was a sofa, right? I don't know how. I found my way under the table trying to run away from my dad. My dad pulled me out.
Hands and feet.
I was like, bah. Never again will you tell me to shut up.
Nah, you have to catch those hands. I'm sorry.
Bah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like Soldier Boy in a chain.
Bah. Yo, I can't believe
It's funny
that.
now, but it's actually traumatic when you think about it.
Nah,
like.
he had that coming. I can't believe that. Not his dad as well.
So, my thing is, this girl was talking to you in a very similar way, and you're just gonna say,
Nah,
"Oh, why
man.
you talking?"
You know
to
Can't
what?
do it. Personally, you gotta learn. You gotta learn somewhere. Something's got to change.
You know
I
what?
can't put
Damn.
hands and feet. Like obviously, it's bare rude. It's
Hands and
it's
feet.
peak, but I can't put hands and feet. Like think about it from a think about it from a.
I said 2 punches. What's it? 2 pieces of biscuit.
I'm not fisting you up. No. I'm not fisting you up.
But think
I'm
about it
just
from
gonna-
just from a physical perspective. Like there is nothing that person can do to defend himself.
Yeah, see, I don't like.
It becomes a whole I don't know. I think it's just a
actually
whole
crazy,
different thing
yeah,
when you
like-
really think about it. Yeah, it's a mad disrespect, but
something absolutely crazy would have to happen for us to fight, and I can't put hands on you. So let alone
my seed.
Yeah, come
Man,
on.
nah,
dog.
I ain't doing
A
it.
what am I doing hitting a 6-year-old?
I feel content knowing that I don't need to fist up, someone that can't even spell.
My God.
I mean, yeah, you may have to have that conversation, but it's just you'll get to a point where
What am
you're
I
just
doing?
like,
Fighting my child for the WWE championship?
no, you man are physically. No. Listen, I am saying discipline. You man are talking about fisting up. You man
I'm
are
not
talking
saying
about
fixing up.
RKOs.
I'm not talking about that.
How
I'm
can
just
you
saying-
RKO 6-year-old, bro?
I'm not saying that. I'm
How
saying
can you
that
run
I
up
couldn't-
and then just spear a
couldn't-
child?
I couldn't bring myself to hit my
Slight
child.
tackle a child, bro. They all thinking.
Even just one.
When you say fight a child, that's
2-foot
exactly
tackle.
what I'm
No,
envisioning. I'm envisioning in
okay,
my head.
I'm saying I couldn't bring myself to hit them. Period. That's what I'm saying.
Right, okay.
I'm not, obviously, the fighting and shit is just an over exaggeration. Like,
For sure.
no one's 619 in kids. Like, there's no need for that.
Just spinning around the room. Bro. Nah.
No way.
Would you wrestle with your kids? Would you wrestle with your
Oh,
kids?
Yeah,
well,
hundo.
110%. Someone's getting a steel chair to the back of the head.
My God.
There's gonna be someone's getting a power bomb. That's gonna be me.
100%. And just throw me
Oh
in like a
God.
frisbee.
That can't be him.
Yeah.
We're clocking the hour mark.
Wrestling and fighting.
One more topic?
kids is
Yeah, I'm gonna
completely different,
give
but
the
yeah.
people one more topic.
Is this what you want?
Do you guys want to do you wash your legs, or how much money can you earn before happiness?
How
is
much
achieved?
money?
Because
Yeah,
legs.
If you don't wash your legs,
you're moist.
sort yourself
Your
out.
dad didn't raise you properly. He didn't discipline you properly, bruv. Wait.
Wait.
Wash your legs.
All right. Well, it looks like we're going for how much money do you have to earn.
It looks
before
like
you
we
achieve.
are.
It would appear that way, boys.
Yeah.
For me, I think it changes at every place in your life.
It's high
If that makes
inflation.
sense.
So, if you hold your money, then it becomes worth less. So really, that figure doesn't make sense. Because $1 million today would be different from $1 million 10 years ago.
Yeah,
But-
that's a fact. God damn, could you imagine what $1 million 10 years ago would have done for you?
Out of here.
Out of here.
I remember 10 years ago, Snickers bar was 36p.
What, Fredo 10p?
Yeah.
That's
Nah,
criminal, man.
it's like a bag.
Yeah.
That's a bad.
And Haribos was still £1, but you had a lot more Haribos.
Yeah,
And a
no,
pack- yeah.
I hear that. I think it just changes at every point in your life. Like at this point, you might be looking at a certain figure, and that's enough for you because you're just providing for yourself. Again, the 3 things that you're just trying to survive. So the 3 things you need are shelter, food. I can't remember what the last one is, but definitely shelter and food in order to.
It's clothes.
Yeah, I guess let's go with clothes. In order to survive. So at the moment, you're just providing that for yourself. So the salary you're on, that will be functional. Whereas going forward, when you're also trying to provide for someone else, you know, you might not be able to do it. You wouldn't be able to do that on your current salary if you had a child.
If you gave me 5 mil right now, I'm calm.
Is that your number?
Because I can flip it.
Yeah.
And I can live off of it.
Salary?
No, for life. If you just gave me 5 mil, I can make it work.
I've never really thought about what that number is, because you know when you see someone's worth like 40 million, that's an insane amount of money. I don't even think you can fathom 40 million. It doesn't necessarily. We all know how it works. It doesn't necessarily mean they've got 40 million in their bank account, but that's an insane amount of money. So like, where is it that you'd just be happy? What's the number where you could just, you know, go on holiday when you want, not necessarily even have to work?
5 mil for the rest of your life is like essentially 100k for a year. If you're earning 100k a year. If I'm earning 6 figures a year, I'm chilling, bruv. I can make that work. And everything else I want to do, I can make that work.
So personally, your main thing is if you give me that 5, I'll try and flip it as well.
Whip and flip the work.
Yeah, I hear that. What are you saying, Eman? Because I'm sure you thought about this number before.
No, I've never thought about a number.
That's why I'm saying, like, and the good thing is, we're earning 100k a year isn't actually that unattainable.
No, it's not.
It's doable. Obviously, you'll be in a high percentage of earners, but I do think people have a misconception that you need a stupid amount of money to be able to be comfortable or be happy, quote unquote.
I think that sort of amount, that's enough to do a lot of things. You never really have to worry again, will you?
Not necessarily. I think, but there's certain like realms of money or stages of money where it's like, okay, now it's just excess.
Yeah, because
like there's nothing I can do. I can't even physically spend it.
Like exactly that. Well done to Jeff Bezos, and you know
his worth is so much.
He could end world hunger 6 times over. Like, nigga, just do it.
Yeah,
but the world has to the world has to revolve. If he was to do it, everything will just fall out of balance. The rich can't get richer. The poor will get richer.
They can get damn well poorer.
But the rich will be furious. So that could never happen. Hunger? Yeah, 100%. Because a lot of them, bro. Yeah.
Yo,
what? Come on, Doug.
What's his name? Virgin Ute. He's in.
I said Virgin Ute.
He's in space, doing up a madness, while Virgin on Earth. Their signal's terrible. What's he doing? Come back down and sort out your company. He is a Bond villain.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's
for real, Doug.
No, because Virgin has a conglomerate of companies, meaning that there's Virgin Galaxy, there's Virgin Atlantic. Then
listen, the government said, we're not bailing you man out for your airlines, and he said, all right, cool.
I'm out.
The internet's not working this week.
Yes, but that project has been from the time we were in school, 10 years.
What do you mean?
Virgin Galaxy has been for 10 years.
He's been working on this.
Been working for 10 years. And that money has been taken from all these different companies and been put towards his project. So now that it's actually happened...
What's his end game here?
Nothing.
To be honest, Elon wants to at least colonize Mars.
There is some scientific theory, whether it be considered a theory or conspiracy theory is completely up to you. But just to digress, basically, we can never leave this planet.
Us, as in regular people.
Regular people, rockets, spaceships will never be able to leave this planet.
What? So what you're saying, we can't leave?
So what I'm saying is
this atmosphere physically.
No.
So everything they show is cap.
No, they go up to a certain point, and that's it. But they will never ever, like, no one.
We've seen them go to Mars though. Like, they've sent stuff to Mars. You think that they're capping about that?
We've seen the moon landing images of how they flopped that, but I'm just saying it's a conspiracy theory, and there's also this scientific element to it that actually backs the theory.
Well, okay, we can't. So what happens if we try to leave the atmosphere? It's gonna get shut down and it'll come back.
No, like the science behind it is basically saying that the atmosphere. So then there is the atmosphere, and then there is something above it, and it's too thick. Like, you cannot penetrate it at all.
Mad.
So nothing can come in and nothing can go out. It's like it's that impenetrable.
I don't want to say it, but the world's a condom.
Nah, that was a bad joke, bro.
Nah,
That, bro.
didn't land.
That ain't it, yo. That ain't it, yo.
Because he said penetrable.
I said impenetrable.
Eman's face absolutely killed me. He didn't even move. He was just like, nah, bro. That was dead. I'm actually inconsolable.
Y'all been sick of my shit.
That is by far the worst joke you've told on this podcast. Oh my days. And he looked around as well to see if it landed. Oh, you're going to jail, Debbie. Stay right where you are. The police are on their way, bro.
Oh gosh, nah, bro.
That has to be the clip for this week.
999.
That was terrible. Oh my god. Jesus Christ.
I didn't even think it was that bad.
It was bad.
He's horrified.
I'm actually
flipping heck.
Oh, well, you hate to see it.
What a way to end the podcast. Jesus
Oh, no,
Christ.
no. How much money do you need again?
I don't even know. Bro.
Yeah. So,
Oi. That's so funny, man.
how much
My face
money
hurts.
do I need personally?
Whew.
Well, do I need or do I want? Do I want is probably gonna be after tax.
Fucking tax, bro.
Depends, actually. You could get away with it if. Actually, I'm not gonna go into another topic. But basically, after tax, it has to be 1 mil every year.
Jeez. A milli.
But then again, if I want to be Genghis Kibokwe, I don't think that will suffice, unless I live a frugal life.
Or you can be just Genghis Khan.
Genghis Kibokwe.
Um,
If I'm Genghis Khan, that's even worse. That's just skeeting everywhere.
yeah,
I go anywhere, just skeet. Oh, how you doing? Skeet.
Oh God.
I don't know. I'm trying to even just have enough that I don't even have to think about it. Like, if I wanted to be like, I'm going on holiday today, see ya.
I'm out.
That's a amount I'm trying to have.
I head up.
But then even the notion of just relaxing, like you can't relax. Like we're built to just work. Do you get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I think I can find ways to keep busy.
yeah, like there is always gonna be, even if it's a hobby, you're
Mm.
built to just be busy. Do you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So nobody can ever just relax for a long
Facts.
extent of time.
I'll just get into acting or something. I'll be in the MCU. That's where you'll find me.
You'd be a variant of Kang.
Oh gosh. Nah, they're gonna let me. Now, do you know what? If I was actually in any franchise, I'd want to be in Star Wars.
Why?
Because you're just set for life. Like, you can go to conventions. If you're in a decent Star Wars film,
I wouldn't want to be a part of Star
then you'd be fine. What,
Yeah.
you'd be in the MCU?
Rather than Star Wars, yeah, they're
I
fucking
dunno, man.
Star Wars stands are fucking.
Yeah, it's life or
Cancerous,
death, man.
bro.
They nearly, that man really gave John Boyega a hard
They
time.
cook everybody, bruv. So, anyway,
Still, if you thrive in that franchise, and there's always a possibility to come back, even if it's after a long time. Shout out to Hayden Christensen coming back as Darth Vader. That'd be interesting. to see. That was actually a pretty good impression. All right, lads, music.
Musica, you guys go. I haven't got anything just yet.
My song for this week is Your Star by Troy Ave. It's a lovely summer song.
Troy Ave.
Yeah.
You still making music?
This song is really old. This song was before his incident with
Joey Badass.
No.
Capital
Yes, before Joey
T,
Badass.
man.
Yeah, actually, you know what? That's a good time frame. Before Joey Badass. But yeah. He's still making music. He's still alive. He's still prospering. Sending shots to everybody as you know he would like to.
Cool.
Yeah.
I hear that. I'm going with Laddie Poet and Buju Feeling. Shouts out to Toby for putting that on my radar. One of those songs that, you know, when you hear something on someone's story and you're like, wow, what is that song? I need to know now. So that was the case with that song. Great song. Yeah, I really enjoy it. Been going back to back on that.
My choice is a song by Vince Staples called "The Shining."
Perfect. Well, that wraps up this episode. As always, you can find us on...
Wraps up like a condom, yeah?
Oh, dear God. Stay strapped.
That bang. That bang. That slapped. That bang.
Sometimes I'll be witty, you know. I have to get in my bag.
For sure. For sure.
But yeah, that's episode 97. Is this the 21st century? And on that note, we're out.
All right. Peace.